Hello everyone, welcome to another Blue Hat SEO case study. In every Blue Hat SEO case study, I give only the unique suggestions. In this video, I will be giving more than 15 different unique SEO suggestions in a practical way. You can directly implement these suggestions to improve your SEO performance. At the same time, we will introduce the concept of the ranking state, another concept that actually I have mentioned maybe 2 years ago or 3. But lately I am staying on this more because many people interpret the results that they are getting from the major Google updates such as spam updates, broad core algorithm updates, or helpful content update in a wrong way, and they abandon the right strategies while they should be actually doing it as well. I announced this case at lexcenter.net before in my NASDAQ SEO case study, which I am working in over actually 3 years. And we achieved 31 times SEO growth by using the topical authority methodology that I created based on the semantic content networks and cost of retrieval. And here you see the specific announcement, and in the last 3 months increase, you are able to see here. Just a few days before, I published it as an article to explain the positive ranking state. I suggest you to watch this video as well to understand it further because I announced some other websites. If you go or come back in this specific minutes, you will see actually the ministry brands, Artists in Business, and some others. Artists in Business is not that active anymore, but it can see some improvements as well thanks to its very, very talented founder as too. So when it comes to the specific article, before giving the ranking state related suggestions, definitions, let's go on some of the practical parts. To be able to have a positive ranking state and achieve these type of rankings with exponential growth, please decrease the total web page number that you have. When I say actual total web page number, let's make it like total URL count that you have. Don't use, for instance, let's say UTM URLs that much. Don't use unnecessary parameters at all. For instance, many websites use unnecessary query parameters, page parameters, attachment parameters, UTM parameters. You don't need to do these things. You can track these things with cookies, or you can track them with referral response either, or different methodologies you can actually use. You don't need to bloat the URL amount that you have. Don't think that search engines are that smart. If you have 3 million URLs, and if you are just giving, let's say, 1 million functioning URL, and only 100,000 of it has proper content, and only 10,000 of it, let's say, quality, then actually you are just wasting the search engine's time. That's why I mentioned the cost of retrieval, which means comparison between how quality you are and how costly you are. If your quality is here, but cost is above it, search engine won't deal with you. And this is the inspiration for the topical authority concept that I created, because it's not just about being an authority for a topic or covering everything. If you are not understandable in the text or sentence structures, you won't be ranking there. And that's why to my framework, Koray's framework, I also added the concept of micro semantics. If I change, or if I even delete the word do here, for instance, you will see that the relevance of this sentence will be changing according to that too. So that part is the micro semantics. So while decreasing your total web page number, you should check this case study, because this is a case that I explain the concept of ranking signal delusion and consolidation. A website, e-commerce website, accidentally created actually over 30 million extra URLs with lost rankings, and then I cleaned all these URLs by doing redirections with increased rankings. You can even see here too, for instance, suddenly we create these unnecessary URLs, search engine crawls them, then they stop crawling them. It means that they didn't like what you did here, and they continued with the old thresholds, but sometimes for just a small portion of them, they refresh these crawls. This is the refreshment rate, which is not that good according to the exploration data. It is, imagine like this: how many URLs they explored, how many of them recrawled. It is a huge signal from them. And you see the numbers here, then you see actually this arc and this drop and this fixation in this area directly too. And another benefit of the decreasing the total web page number is actually increasing your page rank per web page as much as possible too. So this is my first suggestion. The second suggestion from me is please use Google Search Console API to check whether all the URLs are indexed or not. Today, let's say you have 120 indexed URLs. Next week, again, you can have actually 120, but the actual indexed URLs might be different. So some pages might be de-indexed, and again, they might be re-indexed. This is something I call loop of indexation. They index something, they index it, and they re-index it one more time. This loop actually, adding you to index and removing you back, is costly for the search engine. Usually it happens because of the confused signals. By using the console API and URL inspection tool with the API, you can actually see which URLs are indexed and which ones are not. It's important for you to understand that as much as possible. Always fix these two. Try to have crawled but not indexed 0, explored but not crawled, again 0. Your KPI for these two should be 0. They shouldn't be existing there. This is the third suggestion. And ensure the non-existent pages are not in the referrer page section. Okay, this is something I should actually show maybe practically. But since we don't have that much time, and I'm trying to keep it every video short, go to the URL inspection tool, inspect one URL. If you see non-existing pages in the referrer page, it means search engine actually doesn't crawl or understand your website that much. If you are seeing 10 years ago URLs, sometimes people tell me this, look, these URLs appear in the search console, but they don't exist since last 12 years, and suddenly they are popping up on the search console. Normal. Search engines are not that efficient, even if they have high prestigious, it's true, they are prestigious technologies, but they are not that developed, to be honest. They can have millions of URLs in the backlog, and they can pop up today. You can add an internal link today. They can tell that they realize it, but they might calculate its page rank maybe 6 months later. So that's why I'm telling that do not create unnecessary URLs. And if you see these non-existent pages in your referrer section, it means that you should even make your website more and more smaller. And definitely you need to, or you have to change the judgment of the search engine on your website by publishing new content. These new content most of the time called quality notes. This is not a unique suggestion, which means I said this before in one of my case studies, but unique in terms of holistic SEO. Create the first published articles in your semantic content network should be the most quality ones. They should be the most detailed, most comprehensive, most unique ones. Call them quality notes in your topical map. Publish them first, add them to your homepage. If the search engine starts to find most quality pages directly from your homepage, they will be crawled more. And it will be changing the judgment of the website directly. And then you can actually change your ranking state, which I will explain later after finishing this article. And also try to have all these specific sections. First, try to add, and this is, I believe, fifth or the sixth one. Please, I guess sixth suggestion is add publication and modification date to your structured data and also the visible part of your document. Usually you just go with the publication, not the right approach. You should add both of them. Table of content always should be there, but it shouldn't cover most of the scrollable part. You don't need to bring it as opened all the time. Also try to link your hash URLs. If you have a contextual anchor text, directly try to add it to the related heading by adding its hash, let's say segmentation to your URL as well. I guess let's call it like the 9th suggestion too. In terms of here, I say this before, but try to go like around 150 milliseconds of response time. It is not performed in this website, but at least it's better than before. In your log files, 11th one, always have 200 or 304. 304 means that the search engine gets the data from their own cache. They don't make requests to your web server, which is really positive. Only try to have these two. For anything rest, let's say anything unnecessary, 301s or etc., try to decrease them as much as possible. If you have 404s, don't leave them as 404, redirect them to your homepage or any other most relevant section, which means that actually you are telling search engine to reset the crawl path and start again. And I guess the 12th one is, let's say, ensure that your HTML requests are over 97. I will show you a practical website by updating the strike that money case study today, just slightly. Read these two articles, have DOM size lower than 700, especially in the news industry, and font file optimization. Even don't have the font, use actual local fonts as much as possible. Local font means that you are using the font of the browser. You don't make any extra requests for it. If you're able to optimize these sections, it will be really helpful for you. When it comes to launching your semantic content network, I already have said a few things in that area, but I will add some unique ones. Ensure your brand name is mentioned as an authority with the other related entities. In this example, we have law schools. For instance, we mention Lexington together with the law schools to create co-occurrences and relevance between these brands, and do that also from the third-party sources. Which brings me to the latest Google update. It is about site reputation abuse. First of all, if you are doing these things holistically, you don't need to feel any kinds of fear. But basically also, when you do this type of citations, mentions, co-occurrences, I call it surround sound, be sure that you are not doing that much explicitly. When it comes to my backlink articles, for instance, I even don't use same writer 2 times, because I always want to have different co-occurrences, engrams, or tonalities, and stylometry scores. It means that I want to be sure that same author identity and their expression style and expression identity don't appear in 3 different websites and they all link me. I even changed tonality, for instance. Do not leave any fingerprint behind. Basically, it will be okay. Another thing is that I must tell it, because you should also please just try to have some benefit for users too. Because in my past, I ranked some cosmetic and also health tourism websites, and they were not helpful to the patients that are coming from France or Germany or UK. So also it's okay to rank the websites, but try to have the good people as your clients and use it. So basically, when you have these backlinks, at least be sure that the backlinks are pointing to the good business with high responsibility as much as possible. So adjust your macro and micro context to reflect your source context. The source context is a concept from my framework, Koray's framework, which means how you do or what you do and how you make the money. In Lexington, actually, we are an authority for the law, every type of law, and we are judging the quality of the lawyers. This is what we do. In this case, when I explain the types of the law or different type of attorneys and their services, and when I compare them to each other, basically I'm giving my attribution to that specific person, type of entity, or the business. And in this case too, this specific angle has to be reflected in your content. If you are not reflecting who you are into your content, it is highly possible that it is just scaled content or abused content as well, and it doesn't mean that you should be ranking there. Ensure the deleted web documents, because I say that we have done a really good amount of content pruning here, and I have created a content pruning SOP. I won't share that SOP here because it belongs to the people behind this project. Ensure the deleted web page documents are replaced with higher quality and more related consolidated web documents. For example, if you deleted web pages related to law schools in California, we did it sometimes, ensure you replaced it with deeper web documents that focus on Constitution, personal injury, California, X laws in California. X here represents different topic subjects for the law. Lastly, republish the law schools in California after that. So let me explain one more time. When you remove the law schools in California, you remove it because it is not ranking anymore. That URL already has been filtered out as non-quality or spammy. And then I remove it. Then I actually start to publish other contexts between law and the California, whether Constitution, whether types of different types of laws or services for law or lawyers. Then I republish it, which means that actually I do specific type of topical consolidation. Then I republish it on a new URL. New URL will be getting a new ranking state. It will be re-evaluated. It won't be having the inheritance of the negative ranking state previously. Then it will be ranking higher. This is unique, and it is one of the most important suggestions here. To be able to understand what I am telling with all these concepts, please read all these linked case studies from past. For instance, this is the highest, still the deepest research to understand how does Google rank. There are more than 60 different patterns and unifications of them, together different type of practical examples as well. If you read it, it's basically reading a book, to be honest. You can check it as well. You can also See, the Semantic Content Network launch related articles, especially the Istanbul Boğaziçi Institute, right now is getting over 1 million clicks. And this is the version that we created, but still it continues with the same fundamental strategy. I know the owner, that's why I'm able to tell this. And here I also read these things. I have written these things like 3 years ago. I'm not updating my articles. This is one of the reasons that actually this website won't be doing that good, but all the articles here should be updated, because in my rule, in every 6 months at least, you should update your pages. And if you read this, you will understand why I'm suggesting you to have actually below 700. If your HTML size is too big, the HTML normalization, which is a process that search engine calls directly in the search of the record podcast too, it will be harder. Especially in the news industry, you might not be even indexed. You should always have cheaper pages as much as possible and only have the semantic HTML tags as much as possible. I believe I already exceeded the 15 suggestions in this area. So to show you the progress here, I will use this tweet. This is the version that I published. This is the version actually from today. And again, as I say that I will publish this when it exceeds the 1000. When Minister brands exceeds the 1000, again, I will publish it as well. So you can also examine it too. And let's move on to the ranking state, because we already have given enough level of suggestions, and I will explain you and show you more data, especially for the Google broad core update that Google is doing at the moment. And I will give you some suggestions by showing a few things that I have done before in some case studies, but I didn't explain them previously. So we will disclose them, let's say. And before moving further, actually, let's do it later. I will give some quick suggestions from this area one more time, a special discover actually. So this video is actually rich in terms of amount of the suggestions. So when it comes to the ranking state, the first thing that you should understand here is that in your rankings, there are always ranking scales. This is a concept that I am using, which means if, let's say, these are the scales here, and if your website was ranking here previously, like this type of a fluctuation, the search engine won't allow you to exceed this line or go bottom of this specific line. You will always be going between these two sections one by one. But during this time, if you are trying to fix your technical SEO issues and be prepared for Semantic Content Network launch, it's possible for you to be tested by the quality tests. During the quality tests and unconfirmed Google updates, you can actually check whether you are being approved or not. And if you have the positive signals, you will be exceeding this range and you will be going above it directly. And in this case, we get the concept of the ranking state, which means that if a website is in a positive ranking state, whatever you do, you will continue in that specific state until you hit a specific range. Once you hit that area, the search engine will re-evaluate you by comparing you to your competitors. And this is one of the reasons that many websites see a graphic like this. They increase, come to a level, dangerous level that I call it. Because when you come to this level, you will be tested compared to the current topical authority websites. And if you are not good that much, search engine will realize it and they will just put you down. Usually you have this sinister search type of graphics like this, and website actually continues in a negative state like this area. Many of you have this graphic, increasing rankings, got hit, then also continues in a negative state. If you're in a negative state, you have to understand a few things. First, whatever you do, it will continue like that. Second thing is, until you get same type of update that happens one more time, you will continue in that state. What you can do is naturalizing this negative ranking state. Once you do the naturalization, then you can get the positive, but it won't be like this. You will get being hit, drop, and suddenly it will be coming back like this. It won't happen. You will have a naturalization, a flat line like this, then you will be tested one more time. Small tests will be happening. After that, you can actually get this increase. Many people try to get this big increase suddenly to return to the old good days, but it won't be happening in that way. Again, I am telling, for helpful content update too, for core algorithm updates as well. Many people don't get the concept of the ranking state. Then they actually stop the best strategies. You can do the same strategy for 6 months, and after that you can start to see the results if there is the same type of update in that area. Many times we had this, and I explained, because of that, my last case study here explains it. Ranking signal transition. If you lost an update, for instance, here you see that we lost a core update. If you lost a core update, what you can do is preparing a second website with proper rule set. I explain it in this case study, and I have written an ebook. I will publish it. Next holistic SEO case studies will be coming as a book, by the way. I won't be putting them directly like the previous ones. And I'm trying to show you here. The new website even ranks better. First, we increase impressions and rankings even more. Then we get the negative ranking state from the previous website. Then we do other type of optimizations. We exceed the range. You can also see it too. This is actually the range that we have here. We exceed it, then again it goes negative. It goes even more negative, then comes back. The good thing here is that we started to exceed the previous range in this area. Right now, thanks to the update, it's even better. Maybe in the future I will update that one too. Let me show you this expired domain related case study that I have done before, because it also has a similar situation. Quickly,
please also
show you, because this is connected to here. It says expired domain abuse. Don't get scared from this type of explanations of Google. As you see, this is Google guy. Explaining these things get harder whenever the year is passing. So I am doing this for 8 years, but I have read nearly everything about search engines and SEOs. So Google guy was a Google employee, and he was in the Webmaster Word Forum. Most probably he was Matt Cutts. And here too you will see that actually he is directly telling that expired domains won't be working anymore. Their ranking stays or historical data is reset. It's even 22 years ago they were saying the same thing. So don't care that much, don't get scared that much, and also don't get sad, don't get happy either. SEO is not, it shouldn't be emotional, and definitely don't get greedy, don't get feared. These two feelings are the most dangerous ones in this field, I must tell it. You can also join to by the way, our LinkedIn newsletter. I will activate the email newsletter soon. We have over 14,000 subscribers now. I am testing these things on LinkedIn first, and we became 9,000. So it wasn't something that actually I was expecting, and I'm happy to see that effect in that area. In the expired domain, let me show you the graphic if I can find it. Yeah, I am explaining the ranking state here too on these pages here. So what you should understand here is that content in this area and content in this area are exactly the same. The only difference is ranking state. But the problem here is that the expired domain was wrong. And the main problem also was the log files. Even if the website is new, the search engine continues to crawl PDF files from 20 years ago. As I say, they are not that smart. They have some certain rules. You, to break that rule, publish new content, redirect the old content to the new one, or publish old content as it is, internally link the new ones. We always try to change that judgment, and without using any links, we were able to bring that expired domain to the live. So this is also a ranking state change in this example. If you would stop here or here, you wouldn't see these changes. For instance, I say that I will also update you for the strike. It is the finance SEO case that I announced, and it actually doubled its traffic one more time. And I can also show it to you, that video too. I like actually making these citations because I don't publish that frequently content. I post only if it makes sense. This one, finance SEO case study. Again, this is also a concept as similar to the ranking state change as well. You can see the impressions, but maybe the clicks I can show you. Then when it comes to this analysis, please focus on actually impressions. And as you see, I published it while it's coming to the 1000. Right now, since it is in the positive ranking state, it came to do 3000. It was expected. That's why I'm telling, once you have the positive ranking state, it will continue like that. So this brings me to the criticism to do people. Once you get the positive ranking state, you do three things. You get greedy, you stop listening to the SEOs, you stop caring about the SEO. The fourth one, maybe, you think that Google is stupid. They are just slow, but they are not stupid. So don't risk your websites by stopping working on them. Continue to implement the same principles and don't get loosey. That's why I believe having a military character is really helpful in SEO, because in military, you can serve 20 years in a very successful way. And one day, if you do an undisciplined behavior, they will definitely punish you. They won't tell like this guy did this, or he fought there, here, there, etc. You are just a soldier and you always have to protect, let's say, the quality of the work. In a similar way as well, algorithms don't know you. They just get the data and then they have a decision tree that they have to follow. So I will do another video for this, and I say that I will give a suggestion for discover, and I will probably do a separate video for that. If you see that you are increasing your discover traffic during this process, it means that actually you are going in a positive ranking state. It's a really good signal that you should also be checking. That's why always have optimized images wider than 1200 pixels for discover as well. Okay, so now I will explain a few things directly for again the project. These are Search Console or other areas. You can check it by yourself. This is the analytics part. You should understand this one too. If you see that the organic traffic is increasing like that, but if you don't increase your direct traffic at all, it's a red signal. They both should be increasing. And maybe this will be like the 22nd suggestion. Organic social, please have it. It's also a ranking signal and also a branding signal. But one more important thing here is, I explained it in my holistic SEO case studies. I say it in this project that you should have the correct type of traffic, which means this is a low website and you can post your content to LinkedIn to have the low years on your website directed to make sale, but it is not just for selling. So according to some designs, not every click is accurate. Let's say you do a search for search engine optimization and you click a result. If you have a long story of sessions and queries for SEO, your click is more meaningful and a better signal. They do the same also for Google business profiles. Sometimes they show this SERP feature. If you review a restaurant, this Google directly states that the person or Google local guide reviewed other 20 restaurants. It means that you have an history and authority with the restaurants. In a similar way, what type of a personality or users are coming to your website from which queries, it also matters too. If you are a low website and if you're able to attract low viewers from social media, and if search engine is able to see this cluster, it will be positive. And this is how Discover works too. Similar type of users see similar type of content and they perform similar behaviors. And this is the consolidation signal for the search engine. They understand that people who are interested in this type of topics perform this type of behaviors. If they see that same type of people also come to you from different type of resources, it will be helpful for you as well. You can see these sections. So basically, be sure that both of them are increasing, and also do a filtration. If someone comes organically, then if they come direct traffic, direct positivity for amplifying your rankings further as well. As I always say, always have search demand for your brand name. If these people don't search for your brand name in the future, it is also a red signal, to be honest. So we did lots of mentions for the previous case studies. We also demonstrated them. Lastly, I will do some shout outs to some of our members. So we exceeded the 100 testimonials for our Semantic SEO course. And in April, I believe, I will open the course gate one more time. So basically for 1 year, I kept it closed. Out of two reasons. First of all, it's not about money, it's about education. We could continue to sell it, but I didn't. And I gifted it to the over 200 people, plus I accepted only limited amount of people if they explain their motivation to come here. If you are not willing to do the work, if you are not reading, thinking well, and if you are not a sharing person, please don't come to the community. We don't need that type of personality. But if you are willing to perform a community growth, probably once you see some numbers here counter, it means that the gates are coming to be opened. When it comes to the shoutouts, so Mohammed Wasan, thank you for your support, brother. and he does his improvements in his industry, and he is attributing his success to us, and we are thankful to him. Again, the Kashif Riaz, many thanks brother for your support and also for your success. This one is really nice. Ryan Gooding, I suggested a contact with him. He directly states that I wanted to do a shout out, and he implemented our framework for 5 of the client websites. He sees progress. He is also happy in the group. I'm really grateful for your words. Many thanks for that. And when it comes to the joining the course, as I said, team probably in the future. And this here too, we get really good amount of feedbacks on YouTube too. Many thanks to the Daniel Motes. I hope I don't butcher your name. You can also contact him. I would be I'm always happy to do these shoutouts and promote our members. Again, Tushar Mahmoud, many thanks for your good words. Before closing, I will show you a few designs to explain the reputation and this reputation abuse. I know that I am talking about many things, but I must because to be able to change the culture, at least I have to that part. So I focus on the reputation understanding of the search engines again a little bit to explain them as much as possible. This one is actually about understanding the post score based on the reputational score of the author. So this is one of the designs directly states that if the author is repetitive, it means that the content also will be perceived as repetitive as well. If you want, you can check this design, scoring authors of posts. I also suggest you to check these designers as much as possible, at least some of them. This one, additional concept section, actually was at least important too. This is about UDS, means user distributed content. I state on that especially because it's also about user generated content. And here it is similar to what I mentioned with this user cluster. A reputation network in some way quantifies the reputation or score of the users as their expertise, and then it comes to the how many followers, for instance, you have, whether you are expert in a specific subject or not, for how long you are actually active, or whether there are certain type of results or citations about you. And according to that, actually, or basically, they are ordering certain type of users for that. And right now they are defining certain type of entities from the social media. They even add people to the search. When I say add people to search, add me search. Or add me to search. Try to create your card by using a VPN. Adjust it to India, then you will understand me better what I mean in this area, but it is another topic for another video. This one is important. I explained this one actually in my heuristic SEO case study, sentiment detection as a ranking signal. Because this is about mainly the actually perspectives and the Reddit search as well. Because you should also be able to give some sentimental sentences to be able to review certain type of entities. If you are working on optimizing your reviews, whether you are an affiliate, whether you are in a different type of industry, try to understand these reviews and how the search engine actually perceives these sentiments as much as possible. Lastly, as much as I can remember, this is Google too. I remember that, but let me try to check it, because there is one from Amazon that I will show you today. Yes, actually this is the one that I have just demonstrated. This one should be Amazon, yeah. So in the Amazon, if you are doing Amazon SEO, I suggest you to check this, because this is also important. There are 6 different scoring, let's say, grades and also components for stores here. The good thing here is that it says that even if you have less reviews, if a competitor has latest reviews, the fresh reviews will be more important. The same also happens in the Google Business Profile, and the review length also matters. And again, Google Business Profile too. For instance, when you write longer ones, you get more experience point, blah blah, or the longer reviews rank top. Let's say you have a negative review, you can write a very long one. I mean, your client can write a very long one, and then it will rank at the top. This is actually called something like blocking the comment, blocking or gateway, or basically you are just covering the top spot if you want to. And I suggest you check this one. It might be good for you to understand. Plus, this is not a legal document. It is a legal document, but Amazon doesn't use legal language. It might be really easy for you to understand it because they even use the Bob as an example language. Basically, Bob is somewhere here and he's trying to get more positive reviews. So it is written in a very basic way. When it comes to the disclosure, so 3 years ago, you remember this case that I have done it 3 years ago. I published it. I always use social media, even if I create fake Reddit threads, even if I onboard the company employees directly to actually post here and also put out top, let's say, upvotes in this area. Why I am doing that? First of all, when it comes to holistic SEO, we think about every type of possibility. If you read my SaaS SEO case study, which was about Sunny Valley, which is directed to the zenarmor.com that I have shown you, in that one as well, if Reddit is increasing rankings, you should have Reddit links so that you can be closer in the link graph, because it will be also carrying you. If it is a priority in the rankings, it means that the connected websites will be seeing also positive effects too. Another thing here is that I always suggest having real user feedbacks. I could just open this thread and move on, but if you check the quality rater guidelines from Google, you will directly see that Google states that, and there are some Reddit pages as an example. When you find it, you can directly see that Google says, even if you have a proper Reddit thread, if there is no comment, no upvote, no signal or interaction, it won't be perceived as quality. Because this is a specific type of page that is created with interaction or with the users. Some of these things also are explained in this area. For instance, the website owner created the page. The website owner created the page and main content is produced by authors or other content creators. The web page consists of social media posts. So this is what Reddit is. And in this case, social media post, let's say you have just post, but there is no other post. It means that main content is not completed yet. So the attribution of the quality will be coming from the feedbacks. Since I know it, because of the most of the patterns, I just optimize all these possibilities. And right now it is directly in the quality rater guides. You can also find it by reading these rater sections too. And this is a proof of that. I didn't put this into my case study because usually I try to avoid at least putting these type of things because it's very easy to manipulate, to be honest. And I'm trying to keep the most helpful parts in the written text as much as possible. This brings me to these perspectives. If you want to stay safe on search, please focus on perspectives more with these sentimental aspects or reviews. And again, for this type of upvotes and other type of things, you have to have multiple perspectives on your document. I explained it in one of my presentations, especially this one. And this slide, I don't change it that much. In my course, when I add the new lectures, you will see this slide from Saigon, Budapest, and other areas. Because these 7 things are the fundamentals of future SEO. You can read it by yourself. And here you will directly see that Google states effort, human effort, is a quality signal. Even if the human is writing something wrong, they see it as a quality signal. And Reddit is human. That's why it has a higher, let's say, prioritization there. There are other reasons too. I will come there for stock prices and investments behind the doors. It is an effect, a factor too. But basically, that Google chooses forums with perspectives. It's like people in search for people. The human effort was an early signal there. And this is from last year, like 8 months ago, they added this effort here. And it doesn't have, you don't have to see it on the Google quality guidelines too. If you read the patterns, it's already there one more time. That's why you should find the most safest way by reading everything, doing all these researches and experiments as much as possible. Okay, I believe we came to the end. One more time, you can check the specific, let's say, the website. The one thing is, my team has written the first articles. The later articles are not written by my team, so I can't guarantee for that progress section. And I am trying to train one of the content managers there. We will see how it goes. But basically, you can see these articles, examine the images if you want to take some examples. And before the closing, I say that I will show you a few things here. Come to the pages, do all submitted, make this 0. It is important, okay? This number has to be 0. As long as it's not 0, you are not safe. Another thing that I want to show you is this KPI section in the crawls part. I mentioned it, I remember, I hope you get it. 98, 99. If possible, make this 99 as well, as I say. These are your KPIs. For this part, try to have, not bad, but if you look at here, similar, right? What I said, let me come here. 150 milliseconds, 299. HTML request over 97. KPIs are directly here. SEO is a science, not a voodoo magic. Just do the work, rank the website, convert the clicks. Take care of yourself. You are welcome to the Holistic SEO community. Thank you.